Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Andrew.
Night draws on, you know.
Oh, how sensible of you to wear a pair.
Doctor Who, the early years. Well, as it's Doctor Who night on Twitch again,
Every night's Doctor Who night on Twitch.
and we're still on the Hartnell years, I thought it would be worth looking at this book from 1986. Written by Jeremy Bentham, but with a lot of help from Ray Kuzak. Now, it's a big book, so we won't
Look at all of it.
we won't spend too long, but original price £13.50,
Gosh, that was very expensive.
which for 1986 was quite a bit. There's Hartnell looking all moody. But yes, here we are, 1986. And I remember getting this book and being very excited. I think if I live to be 90, a little of the magic of Doctor Who will still cling to me. And the fact that Hartnell was being appreciated
Again.
in 2018 online
It's brilliant.
is absolutely lovely, isn't it?
It is. As I said to somebody earlier, he's awesome.
Yeah, but there's Ray Kuzak, designer of the Daleks, with a couple of his chums there. And Ray, there's Jeremy Bentham, writer of the book, and Jeremy was one of the co-founders of the Doctor Who Appreciation Society. But yes, Ray Kuzak took a lot of photos at the time. There's a very old camera, sort of thing used to make early Doctor Who. And as he was production designer on a lot of shows, it's a very useful record of the sort of production. So there's a camera and some of the set of the spaceship for the Sensorites. You can actually see how much detail there is in that set. You don't really realise it until you sort of look at the photos. There's the old TARDIS. But yes, there's a lot to read, but a lot to look at as well. So there's the Radio Times cover for Marco Polo. So Doctor Who, the four travellers in time and space return to Earth for a new adventure beginning on Saturday in television. Notice it's in television. Hugh and I, Terry Scott and Hugh Lloyd, resume their interrupted series in television. Benny Hill, laugh with the many Bennies. I don't know quite what that means. Presumably he played different parts. And Eric Sykes and Hattie Jakes as they began a series in television. And there's a fight between Sonny Liston and Cassius Clay. And Henry Cooper and Brian London, apparently. So there you are, but yeah. There's the Radio Times, 20th of February 1964. But of course, we can't see Marco Polo even now.
No.
Which is a shame, but
Yeah.
maybe one day.
Maybe.
There's Mr. Sidney Newman, responsible for the idea of the show,
Yes.
leaning on a camera. He's got his bow tie on there,
Yes.
because,
Bow ties are cool.
indeed. But, what have we got? Oh yes, the Pathfinders serials. Often sort of quoted as a sort of forerunner to Doctor Who, but produced by Sidney. Incidentally, they seem to have spelt Sidney's name wrong on the first one, not SID, for Pathfinders in Space. They got it right a bit later on, but it's got George Coulouris, who they've also spelt his name wrong there. They're not doing very well. That's a bit better. And co-written by Malcolm Hulke, of course. There's Mr. Hartnell. But yes, there's the Dalek City model, and you can just see how much work went into that. That was actually the second attempt at doing that model, and there's a story to do with that. And if we can find the other picture, which I think is in there, we can talk about that later. But there's the Daleks.
Oh, they're not Daleks, are they?
Well, the story. But yes, here's
Excuse me?
some of the sort of rarest stuff on here. The design drawings for the monster, the Magnodon, and the flower, the one that Susan picks up and then gets broken. But there's all the design department. So it says Chris Barry is written in as producer there, but yeah, Doctor Who Series B.
Excuse me.
You
Sorry.
right, Lisa?
Yeah.
There's a nice close-up of it. And the 7 episodes. But yes, well, I think we all know what that is. The Piece on the Edge of Destruction. Now this is good as well. It's actually got camera script. And for those people who have seen the story in the last day or two, there's what a piece of camera script looks like, and it's got all so things like 2S and 3S are like 2 shot and 3 shot. I don't think we've got any actual scripts in paper form, have we? I know my friend Nick had, I think, episode 1 of The Time Monster.
Only in book form.
But the DVDs do have some in PDF form, because I know we've got Enemy of the World. Because I had a look at that when the DVD came. There you go. Camera script. Now the Dalek facing the other way. Hartnell pulling a face. That's a cropped photo, isn't it? That's from the Smugglers, isn't it?
I was going to say, isn't he face to face with
George A. Cooper with a knife or something? So that's why it looks like sort of Hartnell's doing a sort of real chinny thing. There's David Whittaker, script editor for the first season, with a fag on the go, like all good writers in those days used to have. There's the crew. Barbara and Ian, who are, I think, gaining some new fans at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. There's a lot of Ian.
Ian and Barbara.
Ian's fighting. Yay, go Ian.
There's the Daleks comic strip. And again, I'm not quite old enough to remember the originals, but they were reprinted in Doctor Who magazine on several occasions, and we've probably got, have we got any sort of compilation editions of those? I'm not sure.
I don't know, we've got the Doctor Who comics, some of those, which had some in.
Keys of Marinus. There's that statue.
The one with the arms.
The one with the arms, and there's just some holes to stick the arms through.
For somebody to stick their arms
Yes.
through, you should say.
One that, and it has to rotate, of course.
Mm.
But yes. There's the machine. There's Marinus. And there's Arbitan getting stabbed. Although somebody said it looks like he's stabbed and then he has a heart attack. There's the brain creatures. And yes, I did like how the chat room exploded with icons of slugs when they came on. And there again, here's the design drawings. There's their eyes. So brain to pulsate and light up from inside. If possible, the eyes and their stalks should droop after the glass dome has been smashed. It's very easy to write that in a script, but some poor person has actually got to make that. Mm-hmm. And there's their sort of equipment. And there they are. And again, loads of icons of slugs appeared in the chat room. And there's the Sensorites without their heads on. And of course, on the left is Peter Glaze from Crackerjack. Do you want to do it, Lisa?
Crackerjack!
Thank you. I think a few people tried to do that in the chat room and nothing much happened. No. Nobody remembers Crackerjack.
No.
Do
We go on whippersnappers.
What do they not remember? Do it again.
Crackerjack!
Thank you.
That's the last time, though.
Okay. Even a nice shot of their feet. And there's Verity Lambert, the producer.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever meet Verity to talk to, Lisa?
I believe not, no.
But we did see her at least one convention.
I think so,
Yeah. That was at Panopticon 2003 again, I think.
Yes.
There's some shots from... I think that's the pilot version of Unearthly Child. Yes. Now, I don't know how much we should talk about the later stuff, as it's not all been shown yet.
Don't want to do spoilers.
But no, there's something. There's a shot from last episode of the Daleks. I don't know what's happened with this picture, but Susan's tights appear to be glowing. Don't know quite what's going on there. There is... Now, where are we? Yes, it's Ray Kuzak's illustration of the mutant which dwells within the Dalek machine, but the creature proved too expensive to actually make. But that was Ray Kuzak's idea of what a Dalek mutant actually looked like. There's some backdrops and paintings and model work for the petrified forest. Yes. Could you fit a tricycle inside a Dalek?
No.
Well, that's for... yes, that's a production drawing. But... Well, they did sort of try various mechanisms, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a shot from backdrop of the Sensorite City.
That would have been a very big Dalek if it had a tricycle in it. Because you've got the tricycle and the height of a man.
But again, you can see just look at the colour screens for there's all different sort of pastel-y colours there, and of course that doesn't really come out on the screen. But you don't make sets in black and white because it would be very, very boring.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Marinus, two versions of the set. That's that conversation between Verity and Sidney Newman. I told you there would be no bug-eyed monsters in Doctor Who. Honestly, Sidney, they are not, because you betrayed the whole concept. This is a children's series. Sidney, listen, the Daleks. Jesus, bug-eyed monsters, cheap jade, sci-fi rubbish, BEMs. They are not. There's a brain inside those metal casings. There goes Verity.
Verity won.
Verity got her way, and they were Daleks. Planet of Giants. That's been on today.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a rather clever glass shot. The ground floor of the house is the set, and the first floor is a glass painting. And even today,
You can't tell.
I find it very hard to tell the drawing, because that pullback shot of the little TARDIS in the crazy paving is still fantastic to this day. There's the giant ant and the worm. I love the fact you even have to design giant matchsticks as well.
Yes. Oh, I'm not sure you should go on any further than that.
Shall I stop now?
I would stop now. Let's go back.
Okay.
Because this is getting on to stuff.
This is getting in onto stuff that's not been shown. So we could always come back to this book at a later point. That's probably a good idea.
Probably sometime next week.
Yes. Well, it only needs to be a few days, but yes. So there you are. There's the first half of Doctor Who of the early years, and we'll end on that cliffhanger. Good night then.
Bye bye.